Welcome to the Over the Hump podcast. Your gateway to the world of the iconic Brahman breed of cattle. At BRC Ranch, our passion for Brahman cattle runs deep. Join us as we delve into the heart of this extraordinary breed, unveiling its rich history, exploring industry trends, and sharing captivating stories that define the American Brahman. BRC Ranch stands as the pinnacle of Brahman excellence in America, boasting a decade-long legacy of champions and housing the finest Brahman bulls worldwide. It's not just about cattle, it's about a legacy that reverberates across ranches and hearts. Brought to you by BRC Ranch, where the Brahman legacy thrives and stories are woven into the very fabric of ranching. This is Over the Hump. And now your hosts, Brandon Cutrer, Rachel Cutrer, and Keaton Dodd.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Over the Hump podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Cutrer, with Keaton Dodd and Brandon Cutrer here. And we are sitting down and we are going through the Night of Champions sale catalog. And this whole episode is dedicated to just a preview and an overview of the upcoming sale. And we want to say we hope everybody will join us. Everybody is invited to come out to the ranch. The Night of Champions sale is our number one biggest event of the year. It's going to be Friday, October 17th at our ranch in Boling, Texas. The sale starts at 7 p.m., but we have a wonderful day planned of activities. Barns open at noon on that Friday. At 5 o'clock, we have a little cocktail hour. We have barbecue dinner by Hentz's. The sale actually starts at 7, and then after the sale, we have a great fun concert. This year, our band is called the Slags. They're an 80s rock cover band. They play a lot of Greek Brothers and stuff like that. And so we just try to make it a really fun event to come out. Hopefully, it's not too hot by that time, and just we invite everybody to come out to Boling, Texas and join us. So I guess, guys, you'll want to kick it off and start.
Yeah, we can get right into it.
If people have their catalog, you can follow along in the catalog.
We're kind of flipping through the catalog and just going to talk through each section, and Brandon and I will kind of back and forth. But the first section that comes up, section needs no introduction. One of our very most supreme kind of power donors. We talk about the Sweetie 486 over 8 cow. And actually the first lot of that group is a fall born, and we've always had kind of people wanting cattle a little older, a little closer to being into production. So this year we decided to hold our fall borns over and sell them along with the spring borns here in this particular event. And so lot 1 is a 160 over 8 daughter out of the Lady Glitter Sparkle cow that was Houston champion. And so fresh new mating. We've got 2 full sisters actually out of that mating coming up, but both of them very high quality. We're going to offer up half interest in the lot 1 female, whose brand is 551. My favorite name probably in the whole sale. Hey, baby, Que Paso, 551. And so we're going to keep half of her.
We had to claim that name before Mr. Jalefka named it.
I'm surprised he hadn't used it yet.
I could see that would be a name that he would use.
But yeah, so that female is fantastic. There's a pair of those flushmate sisters, the lot 2 heifer that follows her, 550. We're going to go ahead and let all of her go. And so a great pair of females. We've actually had judging teams come through, and they liked both those females, and they were kind of torn on which one they liked more. But we had to decide which one we were going to keep all of. We decided, or keep half of. We're going to keep half of 551 and let all of 550 go. But fantastic pair of heifers.
Yeah, I'd say between those 2 heifers in that mating, they are like the perfect combination of both parents, because not only are they extremely powerful from 160 and good-footed and all that kind of stuff, but they got that killer look from Lady Glitter Sparkle. I am super excited the future potential of these heifers as breeding pieces and cornerstones in a breeding program.
That's a perfect way to describe them. It's like you meld the 2 together, 160's power on Glitter's build and presence, and you get what we think are 2 really highly competitive females.
The lot 2 550 Gold Dust, that would be an excellent one for an international person to look at. What you think, because every year we have people who are like, I want a heifer straight out of your show barn, but we just don't really sell them, especially for export. Or by the time they come, everything is already sold, and so this is a older heifer and ready for anybody in the USA, or a great one for someone internationally looking at.
Yeah, and
sale time should be 13 months old.
Yeah. Both those heifers have been exposed to the halter and are working through the process, but both those heifers will be show heifers if necessary.
Then your lot 3, we're starting off with frozen embryos from that exact same mating. So that's always fun and scary for someone who likes to hoard frozen embryos.
It's crazy to me as we look through all of these sales around the country on these Brahman sales. Some of the high selling stuff is those frozen embryos, and I don't know if it's just people's affinity for gambling or what.
Probably, but I think that might be it.
But we're throwing it out there, and we'll play that game, and I think people can have a really good shot at producing some good stuff with this mating.
Also worth noting, these embryos are 160 times glitter, and I'll go ahead and say it now, we are not selling 160 semen in the sale, and I've had people asking me about it, and we're not, and I don't know if we ever are going to sell it again. I don't know, I'm torn on that, I may not ever. So that alone is worth noting, that if you like 160 and you want his genetics with your own brand on it,
that's a cool opportunity as you get that pedigree with the ability to put your brand prefix name, treat them as your own, and do what you like with them. So exciting opportunity there. Brandon, if you wanted to tell us about this next one.
Yeah, the next one is a heifer we've shown and done pretty good with, and it's a Sweetie daughter out of the Heritage Bull Breaker 103/7, and that bull's done a fantastic job to us across several cows. But this particular heifer, she's got the look of Sweetie, and she's got a little bit of size to her, and it's super feminine, long bodied, and all that kind of stuff. But that Breaker comes in and just adds some softness to him. Mm-hmm. And then you look back through his pedigree, and there's a lot of udder quality and milking ability that comes through that particular pedigree as well. But that's a heifer I like a lot, and
another one that would be great for someone in the USA looking for a cornerstone donor or for export.
Mm-hmm. And she's seasoned traveled, been to Houston already, placed towards the top end.
If someone is looking to get in.
She's got 2 years of showing left.
Yeah, and we call this heifer a ready to breed heifer because heifers that very same age will be setting up to AI the following week.
Okay, and then this last heifer, and we've gotten lots and lots of call and interest in this particular mating, specifically the King Garrett 584 Sweetie mating that needs no introduction. Johnny Brahman, Smoke Show, Gussied Up, Mini. There's been so many good cattle, and we have even more that we've kept that people have never seen. This is the only female out of that mating we're going to offer up this year specifically, and a really, really good one. I think she kind of patterns up and kind of fits as an in-between of Gus and Smoke Show, and those two heifers went back and forth their whole life. Lots of similarities, but the femininity and the look that you maybe got in Smoke Show with some of the extra grunt that Gus carried along with it. So maybe my favorite heifer in the whole sale. I'm biased to that mating, but really, really good female.
I was going to say, did you strategically finagle this where you could talk about
maybe
this
so.
one?
But anybody that will listen to me, I will tell them how much I love that heifer. And we've had some people come through this week.
I think if we missed it, it's lot 5, Dear Miss, 671.
Yeah, we did miss it.
Full sister to Johnny, Smoke Show, Gus, Minnie.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Snow
fond
White,
of her.
beautiful.
Yeah, this is a tough one to even let a part of go, just because that not only has that mating exceeded expectations on the level of showing and all that kind of stuff, but they're hitting every mark so far. Smoke Show calving out and all that kind of stuff, and milking ability, and she's getting ready to breed back and all that kind of stuff. So I'm excited about just on several levels because of the production side, the show side, or whatever. This one's a hard one to let go.
Yeah.
So Dear Miss is her name, and I didn't get that, but it's also a Zach Bryan song. Did you know it?
Heard of the song.
Okay,
I don't know the words
because Smoke Show and Gussied Up, they're all from that.
I think this was the name Molly helped come
Molly
up with.
came
Molly
up with
did.
this
Because
one,
she asked me, she said, what's that heifer's name, Dad? What'd y'all name her? And because she gave us a list of songs, and I told her what, she's like, oh, okay, I gave Mom that name. And I was like, okay, cool.
But I do want to mention we're only selling half interest in this one. And maybe let's talk about what that looks like. So full transparency, we are only selling half because we want to show her in our show string, and we like her that much. And we want to offer our, opportunities on our top cattle. But at the same time, when we're at Houston, I want those top cattle in our beds and people to see the BRC program. So that's why we're only offering half interest on this one. So, what you are looking at here is the fun of coming to a show and watching her show, but also embryo production for the rest of her life. Is that a fair description?
So. Yeah, more or less buying half embryo interest and then negotiable possession after her show career.
Yeah. Okay, now we have 2 more sets of sweetie embryos. These are fun.
Yeah, I'll talk 6, and Brandon can tell you about 7, but 6 is tried and true, proven, go back to the well kind of mating, and know you're getting good stuff. Captain Sweetie, been an international champion already. Indian Feather, they bought a really good Captain Sweetie out of our sale last year that went on to be reserve division champion of Houston, and a female we're really excited about. So really a mating that needs no introduction. Not often can you buy full sibs to international champions
and
and put your own brand on them.
Yeah, I'll say that particular mating, those embryos as frozens have been fairly sticky as far as getting pregnant. So really, these are some that I feel really good about offering frozen embryos on because, sometimes your conception rates, pregnancy rates or whatever might be a little bit lower. These, if I have some spare recips from time to time, I feel real comfortable about putting them in.
I agree.
And the same goes for the next mating, which is one I'm particularly excited about, and that's Sweetie and 6-gun. So this would be probably if not one of the earliest offerings of 6-gun.
Well, the only. I mean, we sold some internationally on this mating, but not in the USA.
Yeah, between 6-gun and Sweetie, and that one really excites me too because of the way that they match up and complement one another phenotypically. And I love 6-gun. He's one of my favorites in the barn. But then you go back on him with the power of Sweetie. And
you're getting in pretty close to the ground level on that mating, too. We have not even had any of those for ourselves. Our first ones will be born late this fall. And so not much of a head start, but that's a really good mating.
Well, let's move on to the group that we have from the Janessa cow family, which is, one of our favorites.
And I think the second biggest group in the sale.
Yeah, so you want to start with, I guess, our lead off from that. From that section is another half interest heifer of BRC Dreams Unwind 678. You'll know that lyric of a song?
What is that?
Dreams Unwind, loves a peace of mind, or state of mind, or something.
It's another
Stevie Nicks, of course.
Well, I don't know.
I'm not as versed in the Stevie Nicks, unfortunately.
Fleetwood Mac, maybe, but...
I can start with this female.
We've got about 3 or 4 or 5 of this same mating, right?
Yeah, there's a whole pile of them, but we kept a couple, and then there's a couple that are coming later in the year. But we have 3 females and a male in this sale. And the very first one we're offering up, Lot 8, is a half-interest female and tremendous quality of January. And so we've got some, they kind of fell on that January-February line, but she was born into January. Really an elite kind of female that we think could make a show effort, potentially make a donor prospect and change kind of somebody's program. But I don't know, history of BRC since I've been here, this may be the strongest and most consistent mating that we've ever put together.
I'll stand firm on that.
I think I'd say almost no doubt that that's been the most consistent mating. And so lots of confidence in this female. I think somebody buckles up and buys this female, and you've got a lot of potential success in the show ring. But more importantly, I think she's got a unique pedigree built to be a very solid cow.
Yeah, we've got some somewhat intensely line-bred pedigree here because being 160s a daughter of Lupita. 160 is the son of Lupita, who is out of 341/7. And then the mother to these embryo calves is Come On Eileen 75, who's a daughter of 341/7. So I bred 160 back to a maternal sister to his mother, and we were just trying to concentrate those genetics, and it really worked because all of these things come out looking like some sort of version of 341 since we've doubled up on that 341/7.
That's really cool to think about that.
My favorite things about that cow. Some people see them, they love the bone, they love the power, and they love the size. My favorite things about 341/7 was her head shape, her hump shape, breed character, and things like that. And these things, they all have it.
And note that you said your favorite thing was her head shape. You ridiculed me for I don't know how long about Margaret's head shape.
Mine is in relation to breed character and Brahman presence.
I see that. You got to define this.
I feel like yours is sometimes in cutesy cuteness.
But I will say,
yes, I will accept that.
Majestic, old school breed character to the high end Brahman is kind of what I think of with that mating. really you've got 341 kind of popping up on both sides, but on one side it's mixed with Gibson, which is Cavanese, low birth weight, function, that type. And then you've got the other side, it's bringing in noble, extra performance, bone, stoutness, bulk. And so I think on paper, as good of a mating as you could draw up, and it worked really well.
So that's another half interest. And then we move into, we got another half interest in this section too, which is lot 9, Just a Wish. She was just a wish. She was just a wish.
Don't know that song either. I'm sorry.
Get with it.
But cool things about Just a Wish is she'll break in the February class. So if you're looking for a show heifer, those are both really good, and I couldn't tell you which one's got the leg up right now, but I do think that her showing as a February is an advantage, and I think that female's just like her sister, really, really good.
I mean, but they're also going to make a heck of an embryo, produce a dam.
Yeah, they are, which is why we want to keep, which is why we're asking to keep half interest, because dang, you look at these. I asked y'all this, maybe some of our listeners followed the clips from the Cardi B trial. Did anybody?
No. I've seen the
Do you know where the one where they're asking her, is her bodyguard overweight or not? And she doesn't want to say it, but she like makes this gesture like to her eyes saying, just look at her. Like, that's how I feel about these, because these are so awesome. Like, you look, this is like the dream of what a Brahman heifer at that age should look like.
Roll on into lot 10. Guess what? Same pedigree, same obsession. I'm obsessed with that bull. Brandon can tell you more about him, but I mean, from just mass and breed character and body type, awesome feet and structure, pedigree prowess. I mean, what else is there?
This 580 bull rocks my socks. I really like him because he's soft-made, soft-middled, got a lot of capacity, but he's got that 160 punch when it comes to muscle and bone and things like that on a perfect set of feet. The hoof shape is fantastic. He's flexible when he moves. He's got that 341 head. I just really, really love this bull and excited about this future. He's one of those bulls that even at this age right now, I am excited to get that bull into production and use him because I know exactly where I can plug him in.
I agree. I think it'd be foolish to compare bull to 160, but I think he's really got that similar type. He looks a lot like 160 did in youth, and so I think he's got a place moving forward.
On 160, some people might criticize him a little bit as being too hard and too coarse in terms of his muscle pattern. This bull is a softer, smoother version.
Mm-hmm.
So half interest bull, maybe we'll just touch on this a little bit, but the way that half interest bulls, we have 3 half interest bulls in the sale, and it's 50-50. So we, when we take the bull to collection, you get 50% of the straws produced, we get 50%. If you're an international buyer and say you want to buy an interest in this bull, if you get 500 units of semen, you could take all that back to your home country. You can use it in your herd. You can sell it in your home country if you want. If you leave some straws here in the USA, then anytime we sell semen, we split the semen sales and you get half the semen sales and we get half, as long as you have inventory here to, supply. And so it's a great opportunity on these half interest bulls for people to tie in and get a really top elite level bull and then also get some semen royalties. Or like I said, if you're a person who has a big herd internationally, instead of buying the semen at $50 a straw, you buy the bull and then you get the semen at whatever the cost is, whatever it costs to freeze it. So kind of just some options to think about there on those half interest bulls.
Just to note, bulls that have come through this same process and through these sales, you've got Boombox, Johnny, 240,
Hey Dude, the national champion,
stuff like that. And I mean, on those
230,
on those particular bulls, don't take our word for it. Go see how it worked out with those customers.
Yeah, go ask Garrett Harvey how his half interest bulls have treated him. Wrapping up that group, for those that are kind of more interested in a full interest purchase situation, we are going to let one of those 160-75 daughters go full interest. And really, it was hard to predict between those where we were going to go. She's a February. I think she's equal quality to her sisters. Like I said, it's a close call. We picked 2 to keep. We were going to let 1 go because we do understand there's been a lot of customers that come through and they specifically want full interest, and I respect that.
Yeah, they want to be able to do what they can do.
You want to control your animal completely. I get it.
We get that. But she's just a spitting image of all those.
She fits right in amongst the group. Yeah. I think you could justify saying she's your favorite even.
We're going to have one of those, what they call the 3 full sibs class? The genetic group?
Yes.
I love that.
Yes, maybe we should go ahead and say if the buyer of that one shows her, we would like to
Please
ask
let us use her.
if we could use her in the genetic group
Yes.
class, please.
And let's go ahead and reserve, get a sire as well.
Too, please.
Please.
Next one is a little different. Sugar Rush. Anybody want to talk about her?
This heifer is one I really like. I mean, you just look at that picture, and she's being sired by Dutton and Lady Sugar. Sugar's picture is right here down below the page, but look at the similarities between those two. Breed character, hump size, hump placement, head shape, but then from her shoulder moving back, that just opens up more and more and more. Rib cage and a great big old rear end on that heifer, while still maintaining a little bit of a wedge and a super feminine look, just like Sugar did herself. But then you add in Dutton on top of that. He gives you just a hair more bone, a little bit cleaner navel, and still just really good. I really like that heifer and the way she combines all of those traits into a classic Brahman look.
I'll echo Brandon. I mean, Sugar was super, super successful for Case Botcha and won a bunch. And I think this heifer's about a spitting image over
Pretty
at that
much.
age. And so
We haven't noted this, but all of these are in our show barn right now.
Mhm.
When Connor broke his ankle, we kind of regrouped or broke his foot, we kind of regrouped. We're not going to any fall shows while he's recovering. And Harley and Lynn stepped up and said, hey, we're going to start trying to break all these for the sale. So they're not all halter broke, but they are all.
They're at least
they're started.
They're
At least
started,
green broke,
yeah. And so they're right there in the sale. So that's an exciting one. Oh, I don't know. Keaton, I think you want to talk about
I
her?
can talk about this one. And so we've been just super, super excited to get our first 230s going. And so this, I believe, is the first 230 maybe born in the world, but it's definitely the first one born over here, I believe, and the first one that'll be in the sale. Lots and lots of quality. She's out of a 542/8 daughter. It's out of an old, I guess, goes kind of back to some Duplantis stuff as you go further down there. But really, her mom's a good cow, a young cow. And this female, I think, embodies the quality we've seen from 230. Just built real well, very correct, problem-free cattle that kind of fit everybody's kind of program.
I think on this one, if you're looking back through this pedigree, the 329 she's 542/8 daughter, but she's out of the 346/8 cow, which is a model Brahman cow in terms of moderation of frame, easy fleshing, super production record, but perfect udder and milks like a freight train. That's also the mother to the Standing on Business 365 bull. Lots of fertility built into this pedigree on the bottom side alone, but then you add in the top side with Lupita and Janessa, you get it coming from every angle. Fertility, function, into a cool package of this heifer with a pretty fresh pedigree of Geronimo's Cadillac 230.
That bottom side it's not on the pedigree, but it's a 259 daughter, right?
259.
You go one further back, it's 259, which anytime you can get that, it's worth it.
That's right. But even starting from there with 259 daughter, bred back to 542/8, which is all. Then on top of that, you add 230. All three of those bulls are athletic, functional, complete bulls. Those are those bulls that check all the boxes. And we've got that built-in generation.
Good cows backing them up too. Okay, I'll admit, very excited about this next opportunity, and I hope that the world appreciates the 6-gun 328 bull as much as we do. 160 out of the Shannon cow, the Janie, the Randall, the Jacob Tip. I'm not even sure who owned that cow, but the Tip family, and she's a fantastic donor. We had the opportunity to partner with them on the flush, and that's what made the 6-gun bull. We flushed him to every good cow that BRC owns at least once already, and so I don't know, Brandon, is there any thoughts on this? But I love the 6-gun bull.
Really, really good, and probably one of the great examples of what we've been shooting for. Bulls that not only are sound, they're muscular, they've got growth and performance, but it's in a moderate package. They're easy fleshing, good Brahman, classic Brahman look to them, but then you stand off to the side of them and you say, darn, that's a heck of a bull, and are glad to have them in your front pasture because anybody pass by on the highway will say, man, them boys got a good bull out there on them cows.
So on this one, we're offering 2 units of semen. It can go for USA or international, but not Australia because we already have sold the Australia exclusive.
That's right.
Yeah, this one, again, people are asking, are you selling 160 semen? No, we are not. But 6-gun has got to be right up there at the top of the top 160 sons. And so really neat opportunity.
Bullets right for the time, for sure. good opportunity.
Well, let's move into our offering from we call it the 98 cow family. It all goes back to 98, but it's really mostly 98, Nobles 103.
Yep, and these, like this first one here, she's double 98, being sired by Noble, and out of 103 over 8, but maybe even more importantly than that, makes her a full sister to Megan Margaret 250.
Margarita.
Yeah.
The beautiful head.
Reigning international champion, World Brahman Congress champion female, a national champion female, and then also a full sister to Money Don't Jiggle 240, who's been so popular for us.
Reserve Houston champ.
As well as there's 2 other brothers. We had a high seller in our last year's sale in Wells Fargo Wagon and Moves Like Jagger. And 383 has been a consistent division winner. This mating is just like a
Sally O'Malley.
Yep. Yeah, there's been some good ones.
It's been one of those time-tested over and over and over again home run type matings. But this particular female, I haven't even said the heifer's name and number yet.
You need to sing it if you can.
I don't know the song.
We're letting you down.
Does not anybody, if I say time cast a spell, and we have had 3 others that have a Fleetwood Mac song.
I'm assuming,
does not nobody know this song?
I don't own a Fleetwood Mac album.
What is wrong with you? Keaton, do you know it?
I know a lot of Fleetwood Mac, but I don't know what song that's even out of. Is that a song in itself?
It's Silver Springs.
Oh, okay.
Do you know that song?
I know the song,
And it's like, time cast a spell on you that you won't forget me. Anybody know that?
No, I don't know that.
You guys
say
are
I've ever heard that song.
I'm going to request that the Slags band play at least 3 cover songs so y'all could be.
What a letdown we are.
Well, so what makes her different? Because we have offered this mating before, and I know what I think makes her different.
This particular heifer looks at this age as close to Margaret as any other heifer we've had, yet she's Snow White.
So this is another one that we're selling half interest, and we are going to reserve the rights for BRC to show her.
Yes.
Right. Just want to make that clear. Again, because we like good cattle in our show streams. So it's a partnership opportunity here, and we want to keep her in our show stream.
This heifer, she's got the exact same head as Margaret.
Mm-hmm.
So, everybody knows how much Rachel loves
her. What about Margaret's face? What was that?
Margaret's face and her head. But she may be a hair more, maybe a hair more capacity. From her shoulders, you go back, maybe just a little bit of extra rib shape, a little extra volume.
It's beautiful.
She really is.
What I do want people to look at, what I hope people see when they kind of glance through these pictures is just the consistency and the type. And I mean, they all look the same. They've got the same length of body, style, muscle, breed character. I mean, there's 30 of them or 20 of them in the sale, but when you look at them, it's just like Xerox copies of all of them. I think that's really what we're proud of.
I'm glad we finally got brands slapped on all of them, because at times they could get mixed in there. You'd have a hard time remembering which one was which
is which.
Yeah, and I would go ahead. I'd like to throw a little self-promotion in there. There was a heck of a set of brands on those.
Those were good brands.
They do look good. Because you got some tips this year
from
an Australian on how to brand.
Mr. Fraser out of Australia, Houston.
Sounds like somebody's still a little sore over that.
Damn right.
So that's a half interest. Now we're moving into 2 heifers that are offered, 16 and 17, that are full sibs and full interest. So y'all want to talk about those?
Yep. So both very, very good. If you want, like I said, the opportunity to buy a full interest female that we still think is of the quality of the half interest cattle we're offering. I think here's 2 really good females. I would say the 673 heifers maybe just a little greener than the 682 female, but those are both, Margaret-esque in terms of their look, they're built correct, they're quality cattle. I think someone could make a show heifer out of and maybe even eventually turn into a donor on down the road.
That 673 heifer is big top. She got a big old rolly back on right there about her loin, and is really wide from stifle to stifle. And then the 682 heifer right below her there in the catalog has got that really good up-headed look like that, that mating is known for.
Yeah, exactly.
Really pretty.
Brahman breeders know. You want the finest herd? You have to start with the finest Brahman bull semen. And there's no finer selection than at BRC Ranch. Our champion makers are exactly that, but we know variety is essential. We also offer semen from low birth weight bulls, polled/scurred bulls, and sexed heifer semen. BRC Ranch works to release orders within 3 to 5 business days, but you can always stop by the ranch to pick up your order too. Bring the top Brahman sires to your ranch. Go online to shopbrcutrer.com.
Then we move into 2 polled heifers. So that's interesting also from this cow family, but y'all want to talk about those? 2 full sibs, selling full interest, 2 polled heifers.
So the
Always
first,
exciting.
The first one is 561, BRC Amy 561. She is a snow white heifer that's got, in terms of pedigree diversity, for being a smooth polled heifer, she's as probably different pedigreed as most of your mainstream polled cattle these days. She's sired by the RWT Polled Legend 770 bull, who we really liked when we brought him over here and started using him a little bit. Moderate, super beefy, just easy keeping, and got a real cool Brahman look to him. But then we flushed that bull to the 562/7 cow, who's just loaded with growth and performance. I think she herself was the heaviest weaning heifer of her calf crop, the heaviest yearling weight heifer of her calf crop, and she's produced several that have followed in her steps of being high growth cattle and still injecting polled pedigrees. Now, this might also be one of the only pedigrees that we've had that we doubled up polled on polled.
Yes.
We've never done that too often.
So, we're not the best at promoting polled cattle. Or I'm not as familiar with it, but that could be homozygous polled, right?
I don't know how that works.
Yeah, so we could be.
Somebody's smarter than us. We need Cyanna Biles
we got to test that thing
to check into this.
Yeah, but I know she is smooth polled, slick headed, that type thing. But
cow's dead too, so this is the last opportunity.
Mother was scurred, sire was scurred. So,
but both of those heifers, smooth polled, quality, and they're a little older too for those people that are looking to get something in production quicker.
So the last section?
There's the little red section
at
the end. But yeah, pretty much. And this is the biggest section. And I'll tell you, the oldest cow family probably in this, well, no, because the 98 and Janessa, but 21 is a stalwart in the program, a cow that needs no introduction. And at times, we maybe will give some of those younger donor cows a little more love and forget what all 21 has done. But she's got the most calves in this whole sale that go back to the 21 cow family.
The headline I put on her was all the time, every time, which is so true. I mean,
like
every
that.
mating
All
she
the
makes,
time,
she kind of makes a herd bull.
5 words. That's a good 5-word kind of run together there. But the Heisei May female, another one of those older heifers that's going to be a little quicker to get into production, but still has 2 years left to showing. Been to Houston, been at the top end of her class multiple times.
She is so impressive. You know, this is like what you look at in a boom shakalaka doctor.
She embodies 21 over 8.
I mean, I can at least fill up one hand with international people who have came over the summer and saw her at the ranch and wanted to buy her, you know, or made an offer on buying her. But we wanted to have a highlight like this in the sale, and some older heifers too. And so this is one that's really exciting. Again, you could export her. You could keep her here in the USA. I think she's one that would draw a lot of international attention.
Unique
personally.
breeding piece.
Yeah.
She's got that trademark 21 Boom Shakalaka head on her with a little bit of blue tinting, but she's probably, pound for pound, she's probably heavier muscled than 21.
Her mother? Oh, yeah, I think
she's
so.
Longer,
for sure.
She's definitely longer bodied than her mother. Mm-hmm. Probably got a hair more bone, but, you know, all that coming from 160. Her, you know, that's, shoot, I don't even know if we mentioned it, makes her a full sister to Amos Moses.
Yeah.
You know, national champion bull and reserve Houston champion bull.
Would you say she has a little more size? If you need to add
some of the other cattle in
if you
the
need
sale.
to add some size to your offering, that would be one. Okay, now here we're moving on to these are too fun. The other 2 remaining half interest bulls in the sale. Mm-hmm. Also full sibs.
Yes.
Full sibs to Amos Moses and her.
Yep, that's right. And then, but just some little bit of variation between the bulls themselves. As far as type goes, big bone, lots of muscle, tons of presence, and a clean sheath.
Super clean.
Yes, and sheath-wise, they might be Nelore-esque.
Why are we getting so excited about a clean sheath?
Because it's hard. No, I'll tell you the reason why we're getting so excited about a clean sheath. because the combination of a clean sheath like that with that much bone, that much power, and that much muscle, you don't find every day of the week.
You don't.
Because a lot of times the more muscle, the more bone you put in them, the bigger sheath they're going to have. But these boogers are tight sheath, and they've got tons of presence to them. But the first one, the Lot 21 bull, BRC Carneyman, 578.
Please tell me y'all at least know that song.
I know that one.
Okay.
I want a big red nose
Yeah,
and
okay.
some floppy shoes.
Okay.
You're dealing more in my wheelhouse there than the Stevie Nicks.
But, and I don't know which one is the better bull in these, but this whole crop of bulls this year, not only on consistency level, but quality level, it's really been really, really good. But this Carneyman 578 bull, Snow White bull, good breed character, excellent muscle, excellent feet, excellent bone, and just has a really cool presence to him. I'm really excited about that.
You look at those pictures. The way I designed the catalog, I want to mention there's probably less than 1,000 words in this catalog. There's not a lot of words. It's just a lot of pictures, but big pictures, and you can look at these cattle, but dang, you look at those two bulls side by side,
They're legit.
and you're like, dang, those are nice bulls.
I'd like to, while we're getting toward the end, and we see all these pictures and everybody else see these pictures. Carlos did a fantastic job on all of these pictures, but and all these pictures have a kind of consistent theme to them and things like that, but the quality of the cattle is so good. If you like them in these pictures, wait till you see these things in person, because they are fantastic.
The videos will tell the story for sure.
Yeah,
True.
right.
Yeah, look at the videos.
I think 578 bull is as good as we've had out of that mating, just body and structure and correctness. That's a really, really good one. And then I think Lot 22 is as close to Amos Moses, like spitting image of his brother. Right now, if you put them next to each other at that age, I think they'd be hard to tell apart.
But darker true pigment on them.
Yeah,
On
that's
Detroit.
true. He does have better actual pigment.
He's got tips. He's got dark tips on his ears, dark testicles. All his points are black.
Are we going to call him Detroit or Detroit? Detroit.
I don't know.
Detroit.
You named him.
I know. It's like a perfect name. I named him Detroit. I like the names because I used to live in Michigan, and I like Detroit, Michigan. And, his color kind of makes me think of, a flashy car, made in Michigan, all the cars that are made in Michigan.
I gotcha.
That's why we were saving that name.
I like it. I don't know. How do you say it?
I say
Detroit.
Detroit.
Well, then maybe he's Detroit.
And, also, fun fact, my grandpa put on the Detroit Rodeo a couple of years. It was in that old, it was like the NFL play. It was the old one.
Where the Lions play.
Yeah, old, back in the 70s.
Yeah.
I think that's the story where he told the story about having to drive all night.
I think so.
We had to drive all night from Detroit to Oklahoma or something like that.
Like
This
that.
famous story.
I think he might have got in trouble with the Teamsters or something up there because he was sweeping, but it was supposed to be a union job or something.
Oh,
yeah.
He was sweeping between rodeos and they got on
with the mob.
But you look at those pictures, on the catalog, I think it's page 44. Dang, those are two nice bulls. Really,
Love
really
them.
nice. I love this. I'm just sitting here staring at the picture. Okay, moving on.
The full sister, and one of my favorite names of the whole bunch is BRC Alligator Liz, 684, being a 160 out of 21. Another just punching it out, the good ones. This one's a pretty cool heifer. Same, we've been singing the praises of this mating for the last few lots and here around the ranch, but this is one we really like. She's modern in her frame. She's easy keeping, easy fleshing, got some bone and some look to her, and just puts a lot of good things together. This is a no-miss mating between 21 over 8 and 160.
Yep, she'd be a January, so she'll break in with some of the cattle that were Januaries before versus the Februaries. But I don't know, Brandon, you think at this age that might be the smoothest and best put together female out of that mating? I don't know.
I would say so.
I think
Look how long she is, so attractive.
Yeah, exactly. I think she's the wedgiest shaped of that mating probably we've had so far. And then the BRC Vilma 518 female, and so that's
is she in the wrong spot? Did I put her in the wrong spot?
She does not have 21 in her
Too
cow
late.
family, but she doesn't fit in any of the cow families because she's a little more diverse pedigree than most of the stuff in the sale. But she's out of the Aggie bull, which people are really. There's been a lot of people that have used that bull and like the calves, and then out of kind of an outcross Hudgens bred female, the 978 over 8 female, and so lots of kind of fertility, functionality, things like that you'll find in those cow families. And so good cattle as we move into, what
Well,
Where are we fall next?
Everybody makes mistakes. So she really should have probably been in maybe the 98 cow family because she does go back through Noble.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. But she could fit in somewhere.
Y'all can forgive me for that.
I know. You're forgiven.
Okay, Pookie. BRC Pookie, lot 25.
Hands down, gentlest female in the offering.
Gentle, quality. Got a good pedigree that's proven. The 449 female of Annie's, I think you could argue, has maybe been her most productive donor. Made a couple of herd sires for a few different outfits. And then we throw in Dutton.
I'm asking, is Pearl the same mother of Shush?
Yes.
Okay, so this one would be out of the same
so
BRC
Leighton's heifer that she's been showing that's been very, very competitive. But those were captains, and this is a Dutton. But
another one would have been
Annie
Providence,
Banani.
Ezels, Annie Banani.
And that mating's made a bunch of good ones.
That Pearl cow 449 over Ford is the mother to Stockman.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. There's
Chad Eaton's bull. There's been a bunch of good ones.
What was the bull we sold last year in the sale to Roberto Benavides? He was sired by 584 and out of her.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I can't think of his name.
No, that's not.
But
anyway.
he sold. He was in the sale, I remember, and that's been a really good mating. But Pookie, my favorite name in the whole sale.
Super gentle. That came from Annie.
Gentle.
That's Annie's heifer.
Annie got to name it because she calls her best friends her Pookies.
I think it's a perfect name.
And it fits her attitude. That thing is gentle. If there's somebody out there that needs a first-time heifer for a kid, this is it. And
a fun project that's quality.
That could come out the gate as a young kid swinging. Here you are.
I think so, too.
I'm going to move a little bit because we can kind of talk about these because we've got 3 boom boxes, maybe 4, but 3 boom boxes in a row. We can kind of talk about those.
No, yeah, it's just 3.
Okay.
I think that the cool part about those is those are all naturals made because Boombox was running on a big set of cows, and he did a fantastic job of not only getting them bred, covered, and settled, but the quality. We don't normally have this many naturals that end up in the Night of Champions sale, and I think that's a testament to what that bull did and also how good that natural set of calving cows are. And so the famous big-name donors, but there's a lot of cows that have done it year in and year out that just kind of flown under the radar, and I'd say the mothers of these would be perfect examples of that. But 26, she's out of the 346 female that Brandon's already talked. Excuse me. Yeah, and so another 259 daughter, sired by Boombox. I would expect the maternal coming from the cow side, some extra stoutness and performance coming from the sire side. That's a very good female.
But there's several generations. If you get back on that pedigree, a few more generations, there are lots of maternal merit on the bottom side of that cow family. But 344 over 8 is like it's almost more than a 3/4 sister to 346 over 8. Both of them being 259 daughters, but also out of Jeff Coat 919 daughters that had perfect udders.
Same mold.
That mating right there, 344 and 346, I would almost tie them as best uddered cattle on the ranch.
Nice. And then we've got lot 27. You got a little bit of a darker pigmented Boombox daughter out of a AA cow, which is fun.
Yeah.
We bought this heifer. We bought the mother from Danny and Evan Acevedo earlier in our marriage.
When was that? Was that cow we bought her at that College Station sale that they had?
Yeah,
she's been around longer than me.
She has a natural calf
every
year.
Year.
Great, just a really top natural production cow.
Does a good job if you like a little extra pigment and stuff.
That really dark pigment like that. And so, but that cow does a great job. That heifer, she produces a calf looks just like her every single year. But
and this is in April, so a little bit younger, a different class.
Yep.
And then we have our last one, which is a May.
Yep, the even younger,
726, which is a May.
Youngest heifer in the wholesale, gets you into a different class from anything else that will sell up to this point. Another Boombox daughter out of a Charlie daughter, the 390 over 8 cow, and she's made some really good ones over the past few years. And so different kind of pedigree spin there on the bottom side, but good cattle to wrap up kind of our set of naturals.
That particular heifer, she's good quality and everything. But when we were weaning those calves, she was the only May heifer in the natural calving group. And that's why she got weaned a little bit earlier. And because I didn't want to leave one cow out there with a calf while everything else was done. So like all our ET Mays, they're still inside the cow. But that 390 over 8 cow that she is out of is a direct daughter of Charlie Manso 590 and out of a Carew daughter. So
that's
super cool. Pedigree clout in that particular heifer.
unique. We're wrapping up this conversation, I think, with a pair of unique opportunities. And so I wish Molly was here, but she is in school right now to tell us about her Mojo's Rojos consignments to the sale. But I'll tell you, Lot 29, unique opportunity. The first and quite possibly the only chance it would be to get, from us at least, a female out of the reserve national champion cat. Oh, wait, we got pedigree wrong there. That's my bad. No, that's correct. I'm sorry. And so that would be 2 over 70 daughter and then out of the Dietering female, and she too is polled. So I think there's a different spin there that adds some. So a reserve national champion mother that's polled, that's cherry red, has the breed character, a unique pedigree. I mean, I think there's a lot of things going for that heifer if you're looking for a red donor cow in the future.
Tons and tons of femininity, deep red color, and smooth poll.
And I would venture to say that her mother, we just kind of had to rank the red Brahman breed in terms of functionality, like udder quality, foot quality, frame size. I'd say she's in the top 1% of the red Brahman population.
That 1 over 812 cow,
a
dark velvet of Dieterings was the 21 reserve national champion female. But I think we bought the flush on this before that in one of their sales. You know,
I think she had one at the kickoff, either champion or reserve.
Something like
that.
Their
sale was about September-ish.
I think it was.
We bought the flush, and then the national show was after that, and she was reserve national
really
champion.
Like that cow.
And that 2 over 70 bull has really started to get popular in the red deal.
Man.
For as old as that bull is, he kind of has had a resurgence, and I've seen quite a few of them win in South and Central America. So cool mating, good opportunity.
Do you remember the night that Molly was bidding on this?
Yes.
So Molly set up her own account through Best Cattle Sales, and she had a budget. And it was so interesting to observe her because she went in her room and locked herself in her own room, and she just did it all. But she was like, I would kind of peek in, and her face was red,
she
like
was nervous.
During extended bidding and stuff. It was the cutest thing.
I still get that way, Molly.
It was so cute. And so lot 30, this one is fun. This is a really, really exciting mating here.
Yes, this particular mating is unique in the fact that this is she's one of 2 red daughters of Boom Shakalaka.
With the other of which we have.
The other one is 519 that we have on our show string, and I love both of them. But this one here is sired by the Santa Elena Rojo Designer 2 over 70 bull. Fun fact, early on in our marriage, the Santa Elena showed 2 bulls in the same class, 2 over 70 and 2 over 72. And they asked me to always help them show them.
I remember that.
And this particular bull, they asked me, Brandon, you pick the one you want. Well, I always grabbed what I thought was the better bull, and just liked him. So me and him were a team, and we'd go in and we'd do really good. But I always loved that bull just because he's one of those bulls. Not only is he just knocks it out of the park in terms of breed character, but to combine as much natural thickness, big loin, big hip in them, big bone, clean sheath, and maintain structural integrity all the way to the ground. I just love that bull. And so when we got ready to, Molly's getting started in her Mojo's Rojos, I said, well, me and Rachel talked, and we said, let's give her a little jump start and see what we can do. And I said, Molly, I want to highly recommend this bull for you.
We said, let's try Boom Shakalaka Red and see what you could do.
And it worked out great. We've got not only the red heifer that we've got in the show barn that's a full sister to this heifer, is not only she's one of my favorite reds that I've seen in a long time, but she's one of my favorite heifers in our barn now.
We know. Let me ask you this, though, kind of hypothetically. So in the history of red Brahman breeding, I can't name them, but I know there are significant red animals that kind of come out that have just a shot of gray in them.
That's right.
And those really can be really cool breeding pieces because it's a little bit different. Like we talked about the Parton BRC kind of interbreeding hybrid vigor, and this is kind of that situation. So if you are a red breeder and you want to take this animal, you can breed her any way, any red bull out there. What are y'all thinking on that?
A high proportion of some of the greatest red bulls of all time, not just here recently, but have been a percentage gray. And most of them have bounced between a quarter to an eighth gray. Even modern times, you hear all the old breeders say, oh, they're not true red pedigrees or this and that, and they got to go back to this or you got to go that. But when you even go back further into the years and you look at Sophisticated Millionaire, 80 over 3, I think he was in 8th grade.
Mm-hmm.
You look at The Millionaire, 61 over 9, Mr. HK, Mr. American, 61 over 9.
Too,
He's in 8th grade. You look at
So this one,
Winchester Magnum, he's a quarter grade. But there's even more of those high-profile bulls from way back.
Magnum Molly, a percentage grade?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
She was half and
The
half,
mother
I
of
believe.
809, right? Or no?
For mother of Winchester Magnum.
Oh, okay.
999.
Yeah,
she was
yeah.
half grade.
So the heifer we're selling is half gray.
Yep.
So you take her and breed her to any Red Bull, you've got a quarter
That's right.
gray.
You're kinda where you wanna
kind of
be.
where you want to be. Yeah. That's exciting.
Oh, I could think of so many matings that I would make.
Oh, I
if
know,
owned
me too.
her.
I'm not going to say
all the
any,
hypotheticals.
but I'm like, yes.
You got to figure that out on your own.
But that is very exciting. Okay, so let's kind of wind down here a little bit of like housekeeping stuff. I want to say sale is at BRC Ranch, but and we would love it for everybody to come. Like I said, you can also bid online it's going to be on Cattle in Motion. A little bit for the international people because we run into this challenge at BRC that we have moved to selling in auctions. But a lot of international people come here randomly throughout the year, and they're thinking that we're going to have something for sale, but we don't because everything has already sold in the auctions, you know. So on page 56 of the catalog, we do talk a little bit about some international opportunities for people. Whether you buy a half interest or you buy the full thing, you can export it, keep it here. If you keep it here, you get the embryos, things like that. We talked about the bulls. You can take your semen. So I think we pretty much covered that.
Yeah, get registered and approved to bid early.
Yes.
It makes life a whole lot easier if you're
I know.
not scrambling to get this done
Yes.
at 5 o'clock before the sale starts.
I noticed last year some of the international people that I was helping bid, they had a hard time understanding the auctioneer. So, we're here to help, basically. We are here to help.
Yeah,
and then,
we got phones you can call, bilingual people if you need it.
yeah,
So all
Lynn
of that
speaks
kind of
Spanish.
stuff.
We can help with that. And then when you're looking at the catalog, look over page 58. I think this is maybe what we're most proud of in the sale. We just kind of highlight some of the success, and our headline is receipts over rhetoric, because receipts is a term that I learned from Annie as well.
Receipts.
It means like you're keeping up with the proof of things,
That Annie can have some profound and gut-punching statements that she can make.
I mean,
Keeping
she
receipts.
keeps receipts on people.
Yeah.
But I mean, just to highlight it, we know this, but you kind of take it for granted. Like the Houston champion and reserve Houston Bulls this year sold in past Night of Champions.
Mm-hmm.
$299 Johnny and $240. They each were half interest bulls that we sold through the years. $230. Always won his class, but where he's really excelling is semen sales worldwide. People love that bull worldwide. I highlight Augustus Rinks, Holiday Smile. I highlight this one because she was a $5,000 heifer, but she won her class at TJBA, got Augustus a little belt buckle. I mean, that's dreams coming true right there.
But
For $5,000.
Augustus got that thing calved out and bred back. That thing is
Yes, they have
production-wise,
their receipts, right?
He's got receipts. And
Yeah.
I will say, that Rink family, if you hadn't had a chance to go meet them. And especially Augustus, that booger is a joy to be around and funny. He can come up with some funny things and kind of a dry sense of humor, but can really say some fun stuff, but did a great job with that.
Yeah, at a $5,000 price point.
Yep.
Boombox, highest selling bull we ever sold in a sale, $70,000 for half interest. And at the time of this catalog, he sold almost $300,000 in semen sales. So amazing. Of course, we highlight the Wilson family. They bought their Walking on Sunshine 2 Night of Champions ago.
Yeah, it was back before it was a live auction.
And when we had the little cards, and she won her division at Houston for Eddie's senior year. Again, dreams coming true right there.
Yeah.
And maybe the biggest sleeper success story of Night of Champions is Margaret. Do y'all remember that? That was maybe 3 sales ago. Half interest of hers was on a little card for $25,000, and Steve Martin pulled it, and then look at what she's done.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, it was anybody in the whole world could have bought half interest in that heifer for $25,000. Shush, we talked about her. She was, I think, in the $7,000 range or $8,500 last year, and then she has won all these jackpots, class winner at the state and nationals, All-American, and then Hey Dude, reserve national champion, also sold in an online sale. So
something for just about every budget and every goal. And
Yeah.
that's kind of our goal, is to help people be successful in kind of whatever they're trying to get done. And so,
But I do like that little motto back there: receipts over rhetoric.
Yeah.
I like it.
That was my whole theme in designing this catalog. I was like, well, number one, I don't have a lot of time, and you didn't want to write a lot of footnotes. So you're not going to see pages and pages of footnotes from us. You're going to see big pictures, and you're going to see awesome videos, and we want you to come look at the cattle, but we're not fluffing and puffing and everything up. It's
Please
just real
come
what
look
it
at
is.
the cattle, because
Yeah.
I'm excited to show them.
yeah, that would be my advice. Come see the cattle in person, sit down, talk with us. And I think we can draw up a plan that'll make all of y'all successful in kind of whatever your goal is.
So before we wrap up, we have some extremely sad news. Just kidding. It's not sad, but it is sad, but it's exciting.
Yes.
Keaton?
Yeah, so this will be my last podcast in official kind of BRC business. And hopefully I'll get to come on as a guest later on, but still be around, still be a part of the family and the Brahman family, but accepted the job as the executive director for Santa Gertrudis Breeder International, and I'll start next month. And so looking forward to future opportunities, but certainly cherish my time in Wharton County. And like I said, I'm not going away. Y'all will all see me probably more than you really want to. So
I think by the time the podcast comes out, you will have officially started,
Mhm.
so it'll be Facebook official. But
But-
I was thinking, I'm just going to, for all of our listeners, I will be honest, me and Brandon, and maybe even Keaton a little, have gone through the 7 stages of grief regarding this transition, which if you Google that, it's like denial, anger, depression, sadness.
Acceptance,
Then you
yeah.
finally end at acceptance. But we worked together for nearly 6 years and have had just a wonderful time and so many fun memories. So
But this is an exciting opportunity you've gotten. We're so happy for you.
I appreciate it.
And also a little bit envious because of where you'll be working at now. Your meal options throughout the day.
Mexican food
From
quality went up.
you love
breakfast
Mexican
I do.
food.
to supper. I am entirely envious.
You love Mexican food.
But to all the customers and people I've worked with in the past, don't be a stranger. Like I said, I'm going to continue to be involved more on a personal level and as a friend and part of the family than maybe in an official role, but not the last y'all have seen of me.
Absolutely. Well, I would be remiss if we didn't officially say on the podcast, we love you, Keaton, and we thank
Love
you
y'all, and
for
I appreciate
everything.
it.
BRC would not be where it
Absolutely.
is now without you, and we are just now going to move on to other fun things in
Exactly.
different ways.
Yep.
Schulenburg is not that far away.
You'll see me more than you probably need to, I promise. But yeah, thank you to everybody for all the time over the past 6 years. It's been a lot of fun.
All right. So again, October 17th, Night of Champions. We would love for you to have us and come see us in Boling, Texas. And if we can do anything to help you between now and the sale, don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks and have a great day.
You've been listening to the Over the Hump podcast. Our passion is Brahman cattle, and it runs deep. And this show is about its rich history, industry trends, and stories that define the American Brahman. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, find us on Instagram and Facebook at BR Cutrer. See you next time on the Over the Hump podcast.